Alright, so took one trade yesterday, Asia session. Just be quick about this one. Okay, idea was this 1 minute inversion right here. After retracing into this range right here, we have this 5 minute that it ended up inversing. I didn't answer straight off of it, but that was my I forgot the words, but like narrative from it. Okay, we inverse a 5 minute. Okay, we could probably end up pushing towards a new day again. So I just entered based off of the 1 minute, which is literally this 1 minute inversion. Stop at this wick low, and then targeting the high of the high of the gap per se. This is this on the 5 minute. I think it is. So I'll say this technically right here, but I mean I think I put it there because I think it's the 5 minute. Anyway, so but either way, OTP 1 to 3 basically. And yeah, so I made back everything. Well, technically everything I lost. Well, I'm down like $60, 88 or somewhere around there on the Lucid account. But I mean, I ran back basically the loss from there. And then the trade of today, Friday, I didn't take it on the Lucid one because again, I already made my money off of there. And I was really just focused on the TPT one, which I could have taken it on this one, but again, I think I really need to get a copy chair, or at least like no, well, it's not really that. I could do both at the same time, one on my phone, one on there. It's just I wasn't thinking of taking it on both. It's just the TBT one, but yeah. So I took this one on TPT. The narrative for it was okay. Like so on the higher time frame, I was either thinking, well, I woke up like at 7, woke up late. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't matter. So the whole point was we were stacking these lows here. We were already taking sell side. Like, there's really nothing, unless it just keeps going lower. But again, there's really not like it just started dumping lower towards these lows, and moving. Yeah. So my main idea here was first after us taking these lows is either we're gonna continue going lower or we're gonna go higher. So my first idea was taking a short from here, but I'm like, nah, nothing looks good. Like we didn't take out this high or anything. Yes, ended up taking it on. We have these, so I was like, oh, maybe right there. But I was like, yeah, no. And then I was like, okay, maybe we can end up reversing higher. We take out these lows. We end up inversing this, so now we have a lower. I mean, an SMT at the low, which should be right here. I don't know why it looks different. Let me just go ahead. Which is I see. Nasdaq ends up having S&T with these two lows, and then we end up inversing back to the upside. So the narrative was like internally there's not a bunch of gaps in here, not even on the 2 minute. But we ended up inversing the 1 minute down there, and then I was well, could have got this entry here, but that's it was a big stop loss. And I mean I wasn't looking at the market. I mean I was, but specifically on that 1 minute close. So I was like, okay, we're having this 5 minute here. I was thinking at first I was thinking we'd probably reject it and go lower, rejecting all the 5 minute. This 1 minute inverses here. But I'm like, this looks like a better long. But then I was like, but then this would be a continuation if we were just so short. But I'll say lack of volume, but I'll say if we were short, we'd end up targeting this low. I was thinking right here. But we ended up getting the retracement back up, and I was like, okay, this has to be a 30-second right there. But there wasn't. But it looked like a good, what do you call them? What's the word? Like V-shape reverse offset. It's no inversion. I mean, maybe on the 15-second. But I mean, I didn't look at the 15-second. Well, there's a 15-second inversion right there. So my idea was already there's gonna be an inversion right there on the lower time frame, but the idea was just to rebalance into the range here, back into the 5, 3, 2 minute gap here, and then we long off of it, which is literally exactly what happened. And yeah, so I just ended up entering right here, stop at that low. It was pretty big. I did not like. I ended up dragging my thing down there, my stop loss, and I'm like, I was already down like 500. I was like, I'll beat the stop loss, and I'm like 40. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so big. But obviously, the dollar amount compared to the actual stop loss 40 is a lot, but it's not a lot. But it's because of the dollar amount. But my TP was at this high. I wanted to fully extend it to that high, but I'm like, I was like, this is CPT one. I don't want to end up being up 1,000 and then ends up retracing back down and stuff, man. But obviously, this is straight delivered, so I ended up being right here. And then I made around 1,100 on it. So I'm like 200 away from the buffer on the TPT one. On the Lucid one, I already have the buffer. I'm up 800 on it. But yeah, so that's the execution. That's don't stop at. Oh, I had to stop it here at this low. This one isn't coming down, and then I just position it correctly. Then yeah, my CP was like right here, not exactly at the high, but more at this one. And yeah, so that was the idea of it. We ended up taking sell side, we ended up V-shape recovering back up, take the rebalance right here, and then long off of that, targeting the internal high. I wanted to target this one. Like I just said right there, that would have been around what, like $1,800, $1,700. So I would have been up the buffer plus like a good like $300-$400. But yeah, so I mean, we'll end off the week with these two trades. Back break even on the Lucid account, and then up 11 on the TPT. So technically made 2, but lost 1. So lost 1 and 1 2 trades. So 2 for 3. And yeah, so we'll call it there for the week, and then we'll see next week. Cause next week we're stacked on lose at least for Wednesday and Thursday. Which I mean, Wednesday's at 11, so it's either gonna be a very volatile in the morning, in the sense of like we'll get like good movement, or it's gonna be the complete opposite. And then Thursday should be the more decent one for 5:30, unless this advanced GDP doesn't do anything and have no data week. Because if not, then I mean it'll be decently better than this week because we'll have 5:30. I mean the idea is that it has a wick. Even if it's a small wick, the idea is even if it's a 5:30 wick and we'll leave that wick and then we go in the opposite way, that could end up being mad again because it is a data wick at the end of the day. But yeah, so ideas for next week. Hopefully next week has better setups, and obviously maybe next week we get a payout. First thing, yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we don't, it is what it is. I might not even take any trade. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. I mean, like it does, but no point rushing. Obviously, take everything as time. But yeah, so I took this trade and then took this trade on the Lucid ones, and yeah. So we'll see next week, and alright.